Okay, hi everyone. This is just a quick walkthrough of my 8 meter by 4 meter garden room. This is the SketchUp model. Now, it's quite an in-depth model. It covers every stage of this build. There's loads of detail here. But I'm going to get started and come here to this first part, which is the garden office base. So as you can see, it's using 100 by 47 mil treated construction timber. Now, in some cases you might go for a thicker timber, but for the purpose of this build, which keeps within planning permission 2.5 meter tall buildings, I've gone for this base. Now, before you get started with any garden room build of this size, you are going to need suitable foundations. Now, that might be, or it might consist of a solid concrete base on which this will sit, or you might go for a plinth or pile foundation, so there will be pillars coming out of every meter or so. On the base you will have some kind of support that goes down deep into the ground to support the weight of this building. So there we have the start of the base. The next stage of this build is to fit these insulation supports. So this is just a roofing batten. Now this runs the length, where's it gone? This runs the length of the base from side to side, and that will give you support to cut out and install this Celotex or King span insulation board. Now this is a 100 mil thick insulation board which will fit perfectly into the size of the timber, and it will sit neatly on those batten supports underneath. So on to the next step is the EcoProtect tongue and groove 22 mil boards. Now these will be installed in line with the edge of the timber base there. They'll slot together nicely, and then you'll use some adhesive in between each of the boards to make sure they're secured down and stuck together properly, and that'll give some kind of moisture protection as well. The next part of the build is the rear wall, and for the walls we are using this 89 by 38 mil CLS timber. Now each of these wall uprights is spaced out about 400 mil. And then we're going to move on to the side walls. And on the side walls we've actually got a bit of an incline here, so the front wall here will be higher than the rear wall. There's only a 1% drop from the front to the back, but that will give enough to ensure that rainwater does head from the front to the back and collect in a gutter that you'll put on the rear of the building. Onto the front wall, so we've got here space for windows as we did on the side, and again spacing is about 400 mil. We've got some extra supports here for the bifold door openings, and along the top here we have a steel section beam. It's using 5mm thick steel in a rectangular hollow, which is 160 by 80mm. So you can just see in the background here's a little cut out of that, so you can get an idea of how big that is. Yikes. Okay, let's get back to the main building, and next we're on to the roof construction. So for the roof timbers we have 150 by 47mm construction timbers. I've put C24 on here, but you could equally use C16 timbers here. Again, these are spaced out 400 to the centres, and they span the entire width of the building. For additional support, we've had to double up these timbers to ensure it can hold the weight of the roof, and should there be any snowfall or anything like that, there won't be any droop or sagging in the roof. So you can use 100mm bolts to bolt those together. To finish off the roof structure, we'll just put on these side parts. We've finished the front, and we've put some noggins in along there as well. Next stage, we've put some OSB board on the roof. Now this is an 18mm OSB board, tongue and groove, 8 by 4 foot, or sorry, 8 by 2 foot. That's all tongue and groove, fits together nicely. Again, you can glue these for additional support, but it should be nailed down or screwed down into the roofing timbers. Next stage of the build is the OSB on the walls. Just a standard 18mm OSB, fits flush with the bottom of the building, goes all the way up to the roofing timbers there, and you've got cutouts for the doors and windows. So the next stage in this model is we've fitted the bifold doors and the double glazed windows as well. Okay, what do we have here? What's different here? Okay, so for this next stage we have added the cladding to just the roof part at this point. So the boards have been cut and installed and fixed to the roofing frame there, and they run all the way around the building, even at the back. Some had to be cut down to fit correctly. So next stage of the build is the furring strips. Now the furring strips are used to hold all the exterior cladding onto the building. You'll have two sets of furring strips, a vertical and a horizontal. I think there's 5 or 6 sets there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 sets up and down, and then these are spaced out every 400 millimeters or so. And you just want to make sure these furring strips sit close around the doors, so when you put your cladding on, it all fits nicely. Okay, and that goes all the way around to the back of the building as well. And here we've added the cladding. Now, for the purpose of this build, I've selected a Western red cedar cladding, which is I think it's 94 millimeters wide and 18 millimeters thick. You can see where I finished these around the windows. So what we'll do is afterwards we'll fill these gaps in. Okay, on to the next stage, which is the roofing. So for a building like this, you would select a EPDM roofing, which is I think you can get 1.2 or 1.4 mil thick EPDM roofing, and that'll be one thick rubber piece, and that'll be finished off with some trim to suit your colour requirements. This one's like an anthracite grey to match the windows and doors. Once all that's installed, you can then move on to the interior. So we'll plasterboard, put some flooring down. Now I'm just going to take a quick look at the cross section of the wall. So here is a cross section of each of the walls. So you've got your Western red cedar on the outside, your furring strips, which is again just some roofing batten, 25 by 50 mil. This is your forgot what it's called, breathable membrane. So that'll come in rolls. Ideally you want about 50 meters worth, because you're going to take two rolls to take it all the way around the building. There's your OSB, and then on all the walls you're going to add your Celotex or Kingspan. I've selected a 50 mil Kingspan insulation board here, and I've doubled that up with a rock wall RWA 45, which is a 40 mil. It's an acoustic and thermal insulation board there as well, so that's doubled up for a bit of soundproofing as well. Then you need a vapor barrier before you put on your plasterboard, and then you'll want it skimmed and painted. I just want to take a quick look back here because I've got a separate piece here. So on this model, what I've got is I've got the window sills here, and then you can see I've put these strips on to complete the windows and doors and make them watertight. So that pretty much completes the build. You can get the full instructions on my website, woodcreate.com. It comes with everything you need, including a full materials list, step-by-step instructions, even comes with a supplier list. You'll get everything you need basically to build this if you fancy having a go at it yourself, rather than paying someone, you know, £25,000 to put this up for you. If you fancy a challenge, give it a go. Please leave a comment, give it a thumbs up, and give me a shout if you've got any questions about any part of this build. This was a quick run through, but if you do decide to buy these full instructions, you'll get access to this model as well. So it's not only the step-by-step instructions, you'll get access to all of this as well. Then you can take your own detailed measurements. Use this measurement tool here. It gives you dimensions for everything you need to know. Okay. Thanks for watching.